Hello there, and welcome to another video where I talk about this game, Europa Universalis 5. You may have heard of it. It got an announcement of its release date a couple of days ago. We're going to be getting it on the 4th of November, but that doesn't mean that the dev diaries are going to stop, because we're going to keep getting them up until release, and honestly, probably after release as well, because of course, the game gets updated afterwards as well. So, let's talk about what we got going on today. We're going to be having a look at the UI, which is something that has been very important, obviously. It's how you play the game. And I would argue that other than... You know what? No. I would argue that EU4 has the best UI of any Paradox game. I think that's pretty safe to say. I think it's pretty an objective metric. And I'm not going to take it back. I know people will say, oh, but CK3, but no, it's not even close. If you have a little situation bubble where you've got like a bunch of notifications hidden in one little bubble, yeah, that's not a good UI to me. That's a failure. That's a workaround. That's a hack, a band-aid plaster, whatever you want to call it, over a gaping hole in your UI. I feel very strongly about this. And I also feel strongly that it is a good thing that EU5 doesn't have that stupid little bubble. But anyway, let's talk about the UI, and I can stop ranting for an moment. Let's actually just talk about this screenshot that we have to start with, though. We're playing as the Kingdom of Sicily here. He hasn't paused for a couple of days in Speed 5. You can see the Estate's loyalty, I believe. If it's green, it's going up. If it's red, it's going down. You can see how much money he has, if it's going up or down, his stability, if it's going up or down, the amount of population, and the amount of population he is gaining per month. I feel like maybe he used the console to annex another country. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that's why we've got plus 65,000. I don't think that's pretty normal. Legitimacy, whether it's going up or down, prestige, going up or down, the amount of diplomats he has, the war exhaustion, the manpower, and the sailors. You can also see his great power score, or I guess he's not great power, so his just score. He is in 1437th place, naturally. He's in the Age of Traditions, of course, that's what you get at the start of the game. This here is his research, but he hasn't chosen one yet, I don't believe. Actually, he may have, otherwise it would be on this bar. The icons that we have here, this one I believe is building is not profitable. This one is something about hiring mercenaries, I believe. I'm not sure. This one is your rival. You don't have enough rivals, so you can set a rival. He has some market capacity available. He has a claim on somebody, and I actually have no idea what this one is because I have not seen it, or I don't recall what it is. Either way, good stuff. Also, the fact that we have a ledger is great. Hopefully, by release, all of these bars will line up nicely with what they've got at the top here. He's obviously sorting by population, which is it like this one? He's sorting, and it's all the way over here. This is religion, and it's here. This is culture, and it's here. So yeah, there's some things that need to be done. The star is their placeholder icon, so this will eventually look like a pop, I would assume. Either way, with that all said, let's go and have a look at the dev diary and what we're going to be learning about today. Another happy Wednesday, where we talk about the features for Europa Universalis 5, which you may now be aware of has a release date, the 4th of November. Today, we'll go through a few UI building blocks that we use in EU5, where are some blocks that you are familiar with, and some are completely new. So, tooltips. We've had tooltips for a long time. They are classic. They're a Paradox classic. Without the tooltip, I suspect the games would not even be remotely playable. This game is not different in this aspect, but we've taken a few extra steps to make it even better. They've based their tooltip design heavily around the nested tooltip system that they first used in Crusader Kings 3. As the game is a bit complex, they tried to clarify a fair bit of words and what they mean in our game. Those words, when internally called game concepts, are colored in blue and can be tooltipped, giving a small explanation about them. Essentially what this means is, you hover over something, you get a tooltip. If you see a blue word, you can lock this tooltip in place, and there is, in the options menu, a choice you can make between timed lock, which is leave a tooltip in place for long enough, it will lock in place, or an action lock using the middle mouse button, which is what I prefer by infinite amounts. I hate timed lock, I'm too impatient for that. So click your middle mouse button, it locks in place, and then you can move your mouse over the blue word, and then you get another one. And if you want to also hover over research, you can do that as well, or age, and more and more can come up. I think when they looked at CK3, it could do like 1,000 tooltips without having issues. I have not tested, and I don't know if they have tested how many tooltips they can go deep in with EU5, but I would assume it's quite a lot. And then, of course, we're getting to know what a hint is, which is what this is there. So we'll talk about that when it comes up. As we often have values with lots of sources impacting them, they become harder to read. But in EU5, we switch to using tables in tooltips whenever. So you've got a table, as in like a spreadsheet kind of thing. It'd be nice if you had something with more things. I suppose here this is a table with more things in it. But that being in a tooltip, something that wasn't possible in EU4 is in EU5. It's pretty nice. Final thing we have in tooltips is the actions. So it shows what will happen when you click a button with the left button and or right mouse button. So if you are hovering over the trade capacity, then you can left click to show your trades in the market. You can right click to build some trade capacity, which will bring you over to, say, the construction area, the construction. It's not really a macro builder, but the panel UI panel thing, and probably give you a selection limited to things that will increase trade capacity, like a market village or a market or a trade hub or something along those lines. If the action is not possible, there is a small condition block in the tooltip showing why. You can't afford 231 Yeah. I don't know. Is he still playing as England? Manorial courts. That does sound pretty British. Yeah. Nobles, high power, very difficult to revoke privileges. The outliner is making a return. I love the outliner. It's great. It's a building block they've used for almost 2 decades to have a quick tracking of armies, constructions, and other things in progress. In EU5, we now have 2 versions of the outliner, where you can have a simpler one if you feel the normal one is too noisy. The simple one, unfortunately, he has not showed it. I don't think. No, he hasn't. But yes, you have outliner settings that you can click. It's just above the outliner, like around about here. And then you can choose expanded or turn it off and on here. If you choose the non-expanded outliner, it will essentially just remove all of the text and just have the symbols, and it's about this thick on the side. I like the expanded one. I think it looks fine. I'm not found it to be in the way of anything. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Other outliner settings that you have, obviously you can choose what you have in here, which is always nice. And I'm sure as the game progresses, more things that may want to be in here will be added in here. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Right-click menus. As with many of our games, we have context-sensitive right-click menus that appear when you right-click locations, countries, characters, or units. This can save you some time in doing things you wish to do quickly. The menu below is what you get when right-clicking on a foreign location on the map. The bottom buttons allow you to get to location, province, and area-specific actions instead. So, right-click on the country, country of Holland. You can choose go to capital, open the country panel, which is something we saw, I believe, a couple of days ago, maybe like a week ago. It was a week ago with the Johan's list of fixes. Diplomatic actions menu is obviously all of the diplo you can do with them. You can just improve opinion from this screen, which is nice. Professing trust from this screen, which is nice. Curry favors, spy network, and also declare war from just a tooltip, which is wild. Not a tooltip. I guess it's an action menu. Tooltip would come up automatically. That's not what happened. But yeah, you can also pin the country to your outliner with this little star, which is quite nice. Same with the location itself. You can pin any location to the outliner. So, say your capital city, if you always want to have that, available to go and ping to or open up the menu for, you can have that locked on your outliner, which is also quite nice. When right-clicking a unit, you get a little menu like this, and the menu won't close if you just click a toggle. So yeah, being able to right-click on a navy or an army and have all of this stuff happen is really quite nice. I will say one thing I did not figure out how to do is disband regulars. It's completely irrelevant to this menu. I'm just going to point that out there. I couldn't figure out how to do that. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Either way, we have also got alerts. One thing we've been using in our grand strategy games for a long time is the alert system. First introduced it in the Revolutions DLC for the original Victoria almost 20 years ago. In EU4, we have 3 different colored alerts, but here they've added 3 new colors. Orange alert is between yellow and red in danger. The blue alert, which is for pure UI hints, like a tutorial notification or not having a control group. And the purple alert is for situations and disasters. I've played a bit of the game recently, and I think this system is still freaking great. I am a massive fan of the traffic light. I mean, it's not even traffic light anymore because we've got 3 new bloody colors now. I'm a real big fan of the traffic light notification system. There are things that I think that are up here that shouldn't be. For example, I am at war, and my war symbol is up there instead of down here. It doesn't make sense to me, and I hope they change it. I have made feedback ticket on that, and hopefully it's at least something I can change in the game options. That would be quite lovely. But yeah, obviously you can hover over these, get your tooltips, and then you can do stuff with the tooltips. Cycle between markets, clicking on your notification. It's pretty cool. Obviously, you can discard it as well, and then you can get it back, or if you want, and it'll appear again if conditions change. Lovely stuff. Messages, another classic that's been with us since the original Europa Universalis. Back at the start of the millennium is our message system, where every message in the game can be configured to show in the news log, or be shown as a pop-up with pause or not, or be shown as a text message on the map. If you're wondering what the news log is, it's in the bottom right of your screen, and it's just a ream of news alerts. Think of CK3. All of that crap that you always, right-click to get rid of everything all at once because it's just clogging. It's essentially that. I wouldn't mind seeing it go away. In EU4, it's better because you can bring that log up with a little button, and that's fine. But having it there all the time and then not being able to get rid of it, I would prefer it just be replaced with a bunch of map modes. Maybe that would be quite nice. I would definitely like that. Each message has a category as well, making it easier to configure. Honestly, this is something we've seen in EU4. We've seen it in Victoria 2. I've no idea about CK3 and Vic3. Honestly, I don't remember. But I know message settings are a huge deal, and they are important, and I am glad that they're here. Being able to search for them as well, very nice. Search and filters. Speaking of searches, one of the new systems they've developed for EU5 is the concept of search and filters for every list of elements in the game. The search bar allows you to search for anything in the list, like listing buildings with a specific modifier or finding something by a partial name match. Filters also allow you to toggle on what should be displayed in the list, and you can toggle any selection of filters. So, example of where I have used searches. In the game, there are a lot of buildings. As you progress through the game, a lot more buildings get unlocked. There are a lot of buildings, and I don't really particularly like just scrolling for them. Obviously, you can sort the buildings list by, if it's going to make you the most profit. You can sort it by the name of it, so alphabetically. There's a bunch of different things you can sort by. But if you just type in the search bar HOSP, you will get to the hospital, which is not going to give you a whole lot of income. It's not, close to A, but you will just get the hospital. Or you can type in there food and then choose is a food storage or is generates food, and then choose one of these modifiers and then limit your list, filter your list of buildings by things that impact food, granaries and farm market village, not market villages, farming villages, fishing villages, and all these kind of things. Irrigation, Pound Lock Canal, all of that. And it's super, super useful, and I use it all the time. It is fantastic. But yeah, also, I mean, the amount of filters you have is pretty great. Being able to filter locations as well, super useful. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Another good thing with the filters, you can easily go from, let's say, a selected location and then click the population number there, and it will go to the population view with that location as a filter. So, nice. Map mode color ledgers. Another cool thing they've added to the game is the color ledger for most map modes. So you can see what the colors actually mean. We've added a button next to the current map mode so you can toggle it at any time. The funniest one of this is being on the political map mode, then clicking this little button, and then you get a legend key of showing every country with their map color next to it. It's a little silly, made me laugh, maybe a little bit curious as to what the fuck was going on. But yeah, it makes way more sense when you're looking at something like proximity of capital. Control is a big one. You're going to use this a lot with control. Yeah, no, it's a naval range, for example. Yeah, this is really, really good. Really, really, really good. Nice that they have added the legend there. Yeah, cool stuff. Hints, they finally are going to show the hints system. It can be accessed from the top left menu. Nope. Nope. I'm pretty sure it's the top right menu. It's up there. It's all the way at the top, up there. Hang on a moment. This is it right here. Or it might be this one. It's one of these two. This is automation. This one of these two is hints. I can't remember which one it is. It's on the right. This is the right. It's not the left, and I'm sure not many people will have called him out on this because they haven't played the game and they don't know. It's wrong area. Anyway, you can also shift click alerts and many buttons in the game to get a specific hint relevant to it. A hint has a few flavorful quotes at the top, where the characters with the best stats you have in your country will give you their advice on the selected hint. This was, of course, inspired by the advisors in Civ 2. I have played Civ 2. I will admit I was about 6 at the time, and my experience is quite limited. I believe Civ 2 was the one where you had a little building, your castle, and you got to upgrade like the middle of the castle, and the left of the castle, and the right of the castle. I'm pretty sure that was Civ 2. I played that one. Understood nothing, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, you'll also get an explanation for the reason for the hint, a few suggestions for actions you can take to alleviate or remove the problem. Any yellow text is clickable. It'll take you to the panel where you can do something about it. So, in this game, he has Rebels gaining support. You can click this to see what you can do. Not integrated provinces, click it, see what you can do. Lack of a commander, and he's opened up this one. So he's got recommended actions. Click on alert to select a character for the unit, or you can select your unit from the map, from the outliner. If you don't have a good character available, you can train one from the units panel. You can also automate applying generals and admirals, which is awesome, absolutely awesome. You click this button right here. It's all the way at the bottom. It's the very last two things in the automation list. And auto-assign generals and auto-assign admirals. It is fantastic. I definitely have clicked that. I love it. It's fantastic stuff. Also adding extra hints in there, and obviously there are a lot of blue things that you can, hover over for a tooltip. Yellow things that you can click to bring you to different places. It's pretty good. Yeah, really helpful to teach you the game mechanics. It is true. That is all for today. I would say, having said, this is all about the UI in Europa Universalis 5. I like all of the new systems. I do. I think all of the new systems have their place. They work. They're lovely. Is the UI an improvement over EU4? Is the main question. And I think it's close, but still the answer is no. I still prefer the vibe and the aesthetics of EU4's UI, which again I will reiterate is the best UI of any game I've ever played. If EU4 had all of the, the extra mechanics of the UIs that we have here in EU5, it would be even more perfect, for sure. That is definitely an upgrade. I still prefer the vibe of EU4's UI, and there are certain things in EU5's UI that I do want to move around or be in just different places. Because, for example, if we go here, I really hate this. At the bottom of your screen, literally in the bottom middle of your screen, you've got your control groups. This one is a control group for an army, so if he presses 1, he will go to that army. Similarly for the navy, if he presses 3, it will open the Curia. I don't know why this needs to be here. It just doesn't. It truly just doesn't. And I really hope they take my suggestion and move it away, because it's right in the middle of your screen and it gets in the way. It's just awful. And then this having proximity to capital, right? He's chosen the map mode proximity to capital, so he has this big box on the bottom of his screen, and it's probably around about this size as well. If you're looking at my screen, obviously the YouTube video, it's about here on your screen. That's where it is. And yeah, I don't know. It's a little much. And then right beneath this is like all of the map modes, but it's in the middle. It should be over down here, where my face is, hidden by my webcam. So I don't like it. I don't like this part. This needs to move. And so does the war. You know, in EU4, when you go to war, you have your war symbol in the bottom right, and it's supposed to be there. It's the perfect place. Having it at the top is just, it's a decision that I am not supporting. Either way, we have also got some comments to go over. Just so we know, has the game gone gold yet? Gone gold has not meant anything since printing stopped being a thing for PC games 10 years ago. So I don't want to be like, well, actually, because I'm obviously nowhere near as informed about how Paradox works. But from my understanding, especially of playing games from Paradox pre-release for the past few years, generally about a week before release, they send a version of the game to Steam, and that's the launch version. They're not, they're not doing fixes and stuff that will go into the launch version up until launch day. So I guess you can describe that as going gold. I probably would describe that as going gold. But it's a little different than what it used to mean in the past. I will say as well, the version of the game that I currently have is not the current version that will go live on the 4th of November. It's also not the current version that the developers have as their main working build. They put together a build for the content creators, and that's the one we have right now. They've kept working on the game since, and I've had the game for a little over a week now, and so a week plus, maybe probably 2 weeks of fixes have gone into the game since the build that we're using was done. So yeah, there's been a bunch of like suggestions that we've all offered in the Discord that we're coordinating in, and then sometimes we get replies of, oh yeah, this is already fixed in the version that we have, which is, it's nice. Off topic, will there be any information about multiplayer? Is it important to you? Yes, before release. Fantastic. And multiplayer is vital. I have thoughts on multiplayer, and I also know multiplayer is still being worked on. It is still being worked on because there were still some issues that have also, of course, been reported. Myself, Lemon Cake, and Playmaker were testing the multiplayer systems last week, or actually maybe it was earlier this week. I can't remember. It might have been last weekend. And I tell you, some of the systems that we've got are improvements, and I'm just gonna. I know I might be like jumping the gun before you on here, but I am allowed to. I've been told that I am perfectly allowed to talk about the mechanics of the game that I have access to. One of those mechanics. There's a lobby, guys. There's a fucking lobby. Right. You know how when Stellaris came out, and then to load a multiplayer game. You've done your first session, you're going into your second session, or maybe you're crashing and you need to do Rios, and then the way to get into the game was the host loaded the game and then just accepted a bunch of hot joins. Nah, we got a bloody lobby. And another thing, when they released Imperator and they're like, oh, we got this whole new system where hot joiners, right? Because we're all testing this game in a LAN connection inside the same office, decent PCs, decent computers, all in the same location, we can just have people hot join while we continue playing the game. And for everyone else in the entire world playing multiplayer, that just results in instant desync and death of your game. Well, no more. This game has... Oh, it's even better than EU4's, actually. EU4, you have someone hot joining, your screen gets locked, you can still pan around, but you get a little box in the middle of your screen, and you scroll to the bottom, you can see how fast it's going to take it. No. In EU5, you can still look around the map. You can't do anything. You can't build a building. You can't interact with the game world. That is frozen, which is perfect. But you can look around. You can click on locations, check populations, and plan what you're going to do. Maybe. Oh, it's beautiful. They fixed the multiplayer in Vic 3, CK3, and Imperator has been absolutely woeful, and EU5 is bringing multiplayer back. It's so nice to see. Absolutely giga amazing. Also, those 3 games didn't have a chat box. EU5 has a chat box. The fact that is something to celebrate is just an absolute indictment on Vic 3, CK3, and Imperator. It's why didn't those games not have that? What the balls, dudes? What? I don't know. It is what it is. How moddable are map modes? Can they mod in additional map modes based off new characteristics like in CK3, or is it more hard-coded? You can make fully 100% scriptable map modes. For modders, that is amazing news, and I've seen a bunch of modders saying already that is awesome for them and their plans. So super, super awesome. I love that this is going to be a very moddable game, because I don't know if you noticed, I really like mods. Yeah, super looking forward to seeing what people are going to come up with. Is there a penalty if you upgrade locations to towns when the location is too close to another town? It might prevent city and town spamming. No, but it is completely stupid to do. You'll never want more than 25% towns/cities. Yesn't. I mean, he's definitely got more hours in the game than I do, so he's probably in a more authoritative position to say this. But I've played pretty exclusively in Italy so far, and I think I'm pretty sure I've got more than 25% towns to cities, and food is occasionally an issue, but generally I'm pretty happy with having lots of cities. I think it all really depends on what trade good it is that you have in a location as to whether you want to upgrade it to a town. But yeah, having less food in a town and even more or less in a city, definitely a pain. But 25%, I mean, it seems like a reasonable number. I'm sure if I look up my the save game I have right now and actually do the math to calculate, I will probably see I have got around about that mark. It just kind of feels like I'm very urbanized. Either way, moving on. I've apparently accidentally picked up the same thing again. By my reckoning, is there enough time before the 4th of November for 11 more weekly Tinto Talks and flavors, including today? Can we know to what those last few Tinto Talks and flavors will be dedicated? Well, the last one will be achievements. I mean, fair enough. It generally always is. But what do we get elsewise, right? We know we're going to get one on multiplayer. Let's actually bring up a calendar, and I know you can't see this, but I also can't move it without showing you my actual calendar, which I'm not going to do. But between now and the 4th of November, counting Wednesdays, we've got the 27th, we got the 3rd, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 more. I feel like maybe me or him has miscounted. Either way, I suppose that he's counting maybe flavors as well. Yeah, we're not going to get to know all of the things that are coming up, but, achievements, and multiplayer are going to be a couple of them. It's kind of nice. And speaking of achievements, you will be required to have Iron Man mode enabled in order to achieve them. You can see this is disagreed with in the community. I am on the side. I think Iron Man should be a requirement. I just do. I can confirm with 100% certainty, because when Johan mentioned it on the forums a few months ago, he messaged me on Discord to tell me, hey, have you seen this message I've made? There's no Lucky Nations in this game. That's not a thing. Lucky Nations is dead. Thank all of your gods. Look, Lucky Nations is a terrible mechanic, should never been in the game, and it is no longer in Europa Universalis. That's fantastic. But Iron Man is a requirement. I'm fine with that. I don't see a reason to complain about that. Keeps everyone on a level playing field, and that's, I think, a good thing. But that's all for today. We had a bit of a long one. I expected this to actually be a short video, so apologies for that. If all of the things that I've said have excited you for the game, and you are the kind of person who thinks, you know what, I'm going to pre-order the game, can I maybe direct you to the pinned comment of this video, where you will find a link to the Paradox store, and if you purchase via that link, I get 12% of the sale value, so you will be helping me out, you'll be helping the channel out. I would really be appreciative of that. That would super help me out. You do get a Steam key if you do it that way as well. I believe the Steam key gets delivered to you on release day, or maybe just before release day. So if they do a preload system, I'm not sure what they're going to do on that regard. But if you want to help me out, that would be the most amazing way to do it. You can also just click subscribe. That works too. That's also very kind, and I would be appreciative of that too. But in any case, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.